Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be a review for MasterMade Polo. This is a really cool looking figure. I really like it. And it's an SD, meaning has that kind of chibi design to it, which I really like. I do collect the SD Gundams, as well as some of the SRWs with the Kodo kits. I do love them. And this is after the design of Omega Supreme. Now, just a heads up, this is going to be a blind review, meaning I know little or not at all. I'm not a huge Transformer fan, but I do love robots. And from time to time, I do collect certain Transformers, which the design I really like. And MasterMades are making these awesome SDs of this CD scale, huge Transformer, and they're awesome. So far I already have the Titan or Metroplex, Diabolus Rex or Triptychon, and now we have Apollo or Omega Supreme, and I think they're gonna make more, and that is great. Also, I got mine from Supreme Collectors. It's an upcoming web store, and actually it's local to me, which is great. I know the owner, Brandon, and he'll be selling a lot of cool stuff, Bandai stuff, as well as third-party Transformers, and among other things. I'll provide the link down below, but it's still a work in progress, but eventually the web store will go live. And especially it's great if you live locally in the Bay Area, here in near San Francisco. Yeah, that's great. You can do local pickups, saves you shipping, and among other things. Anyways, getting back to this figure, really cool box. I like the line art, really cool. And it's actually windowed. Actually, let's do that. You can flip this over. I get the inside. You get to see the figure. We have a little Optimus Prime there. We got one of his giant cannon there. The instructions are in the back. We also have some cool shots here, which is really cool. Let's have that light up LED gimmick. And hold on. Trying to balance my camera here before it drops off. Onto the side. So actually, if you open up this lid here, you can have a better image of that. Really nice. Right, so let me push that back there. On the back side, you got Optimus Prime. And I think that's pretty much it. Other than this, you get a little bit of windowed box on top as well. There we go. Alright, let's take a look inside. Alright, so here's the packaging inside, and I just want to go over this. Something I've noticed. So, typically, this is how most figures are packaged. You got that two plastic, you kind of cover, you got one on top, one on the back side. But one thing I've noticed is it's quite hollow here. Now, this is a heavy figure. And yeah, it has some heft to it. It has die-cast parts, so it would make sense to have a support here. I've seen other figures done that. Actually, Bandai kind of goes crazy with that with the SH Monster. There's just a lot of extra plastic to go along with the figure, just to make sure it doesn't shake around. Now you have a lot of space here, and I'm not sure if mine is just missing, but I don't see one here. So it's not there. And what ended up happening on mine is, I move this top part. Yeah, this thing just gonna crack all the way down. Yeah, especially when you have it like this, because of the weight of the leg. Yeah, just a lot of space there. Yeah, there should have some kind of backing in there. But, you know, regardless, it's just packaging, and I pretty much taped it up. And just a heads up, yeah, that it's so heavy. Alright, so we have Apollo or Omega Supreme here. He looks great. Just that bulky look on him. You know, those giant forearms. Just really, really cool. And yeah, this guy's amazing. He has a lot of stamp-on decals around him, and as we can see here on the shoulder, the knees, on the back side of the wing, really, really cool. In terms of the paint app, actually most of it is plastic, but you got certain parts that are silver, and the parts that are die cast, it's painted, like the foot here. This whole foot section, even to this, actually trying to feel for it. Even maybe on this top part, that seems like die cast, but this whole yellow part here, yep, that's die cast. And that gives you that stability, displaying him like this. And it feels great. You got that weight. On the other hand though, I already noticed mine. There's a bit of paint chipping on the corner there. I'm not sure how that happened, but as I took this out of the box, I've noticed it. I thought it was battle damage at first, but clearly you don't see that here. And it's something to do with die cast. Paint does tend to chip off when you have it on a die cast. I seen it happen on my Sentinel Armorized Iron Man, and it's one of those. I prefer the die cast to be in the inner frame as opposed to be the whole thing outside because of that issue. Yeah, but it's not too bad, and it's in the back, so there we go. Other than that, the yellow at first, it's pastel yellow. I'm not too fond of that color, but mixed with the light gray, it works out. So I'm slowly liking the color scheme. And you have the red color here as well. It's quite nice one for the core. You got some clear parts here. You got the orange for the torso here. It does have the LED gimmick, which will go in a bit, as well as this cool visor here on top. Yeah. Alright, so going over gimmicks and articulation, let's start with the head here. In the instruction, it doesn't really tell you much other than a transformation, and this is something that you just have to find out for yourself. And more than often, as I play around with the MasterMade figures, I keep finding out new articulation or new gimmicks, which is great. So for this, you have the neck here. It's a ball joint, and you can actually pop out the whole neck here. Really, really cool. And you have the visor here, which you can, when you move this up here, kind of helps you move that visor up. And you have a cool gimmick here when you can move the mouth, and actually the forehead moves as well. So that's really cool. Quite interesting. Now here, well, we can actually remove this. There's a kind of like a spring-loaded hinge on the back here. You can pop that out, and you can take this. Just want to go over it. So the battery compartment is here actually. You have to slide this out, and you got two LR44, I believe. Those are the button batteries. And I would suggest you just buy a bunch of them because they don't. This figure set doesn't come with the batteries. Yep. And more than likely they're gonna be using the same ones. So there we go. And the switch is right here on the back side. There we go. Really nice and bright. And just yeah, it kind of makes the whole visor glow up, which is really cool. Yeah, it's nice and bright. Alright, and I got my lights here back. So that's that. Oh, wow, you can even extend that. I think that's for the tank mode, which we'll go in a bit. Yeah, it's a lot of cool hidden gimmicks. Alright, let me put this back here for now, and we'll go over the tank mode as we go into transformation. Now let's go with the back first. This is kind of like the wings, sorta. You got that the huge hinge here, it connects to the red part. You can move this back here, and I think you can even extend this, but I think that's for later. So we have that option. Other than that, we have the shoulder here, and the whole arm here. I think for the most part, everything ratchets. So, well, except for sorry about that. The one attached to the torso, there's no ratchet there, but as you move this around up, it ratchets. There we go. Even turning this here, it ratchets. First time I'm seeing that they have that kind of ratchet there. Then you got your elbow. Actually fairly good bend there. Yep. And what else we got here? Then you just got your wrist joint here. It's a ball joint. Then you got this giant arm. And I think they're pretty much the same as the other ones. I'm not too fond of this design. It's just a little too bulky. I kind of wish they made the end part a little bit smaller. But I kind of see what they're going for. You know, it's super deformed. And it's just giant hands. Right there. I'm not sure if you can actually remove this part here, but the sleeve here kind of just moves around. Maybe that's part of the transformation, but it kind of just floats around. There we go. Same thing on the other side. Yep. Really cool. Now for the torso, it's attached. It's kind of how weird it's attached, but it's kind of like spring-loaded here. From what it looks like, they got the 3 clips there, and yeah, it kind of attaches to the lip there, and it just kind of, yeah, moves around there. And on the waist, you can move this up. I kind of wish that ratchets too, but I guess there's probably no need. But I like ratchets, especially for heavy figures. Yeah, not all the time though, but if something heavy, ratchets are good to help keep that form. You get their tie swivel here. Another thing I've noticed here is that there's a screw there. There's none there. Then when you flip it over, there's a screw there, but not there. I thought I had a defect where they kind of screwed up and got me the same piece, which just has happened before. With Figma, if you remember that video. And turns out, I think that is the normal design for this. I've seen other reviews of this, and they have that, where this part here has the screw, which is odd. I actually tried to remove this and see if I can flip it around, but you can't. It is molded specifically for that orientation. So, yeah, it's odd that they had that. Otherwise, moving on, we have the knee here, which you can bend down, and actually you can see that kind of like the tab there, which holds this top part, and that's the swivel point there. You can bend this. It's double jointed, so you can do some crazy knee bending there, and I believe you can kind of extend this up, which is cool, and hide that gap there. So that's really cool that they've added that feature. And plus, this kind of goes along with the transformation later on. So you have this movable knee armor, which is nice. Then you have this huge tie swivel here. From the looks of this, yeah, it looks like there's a ball joint there somewhat. And yeah, it's just a really cool design. You can have a wide stand there. Yeah, really cool. And I think that's pretty much it for articulation. Yeah, just despite being a super deformed, you're getting it all and even more. So that's really cool. All right. Now while we're at it, we have this parts here, which kind of gives a bit more to Omega Supreme. And actually this is kind of iconic. You have this claw here on the right and the blaster on his left. So to attach this, there's clips. You can actually, yeah, there's clips here, those gray pieces there, and you can actually rotate this to kind of retract them. That way you can pop them out. So that's a cool gimmick. Otherwise, you just put it on and it attaches. There we go. Now he's Mega Man. And there's also a gimmick where you can actually open this up if you want to. So that's really cool. And actually, that's actually for later on. There's another gimmick where you can combine the two. But for now, I just want to show this. So you got hinges there. You can open up the flaps. make that thing bigger. Then you have the claw here, same design. And it really doesn't matter if the fingers are folded or not. I think you have enough clearance. Well, maybe not. Alright, I take that back. So you gotta have to kind of fold it. Maybe fold it in a fist, depending on your preference. But yeah, that's good enough. And you just gotta put it in there. If it's not locking, just make sure you have the ring here locked. There we go. And those ratchets are amazing. There we go. Hold that in place. Open that up. Really cool. Yep. Very articulate. Yeah, you can even move that. Really nice. Now, I forgot to mention about the torso here. Which I'm kind of backtracking here. But to get to the batteries, you have to remove this screw here. And you can kind of see there is the battery right inside there. The battery for that, according to here, is a CR2032. I'm actually using a CR2016. It's a 3-volt battery. Mine is a little smaller. And actually, you know what, I'm just gonna show that to my viewers here. Let me add this little screwdriver thing here that I really like. You know, aside from it, it's orange. It's just very nifty. Alright, so let me take that battery out. Getting that screw off there. Hopefully it's turning. It's one of those screws that yeah. Let me try another screwdriver here. There we go. That screwdriver is it's a bit too shallow. Gotta use the right one, otherwise you're gonna end up damaging the head. Alright, so anyways, you pop this out here, and there we go. So I'm using a 16. It still works, but for this one, it's kind of weird because as I take this out here, so when you get this, there's two sides. This one here and this one here, but they're all folded in. And when you put the battery on top, it's not gonna work because you need one either touching the side or the top part for the positive. So this part here, the shorter end, you wanna push it all the way out. That way it'll touch the side, then the other one's just inside. There we go. So that's there, and that turns on the light there, switch in front. So I just wanna quickly go over that. Alright, so getting back to this, you can turn on those lights. The nice bright light there. And for the eyes. Really cool. Kinda wish there's also lights for the blaster here. Or the reactor. That'll be even better. But that's a little too much. I mean, you're already getting so much stuff. And for me, LED is a great gimmick. But it's one of those that it's only good for a few minutes, then you kinda, I don't wanna use up the batteries, although batteries are cheap. It's a cool gimmick, but it's not something that you wanna keep on all the time. So, yeah. Anyways, let's turn those lights off. There we go. Now, there is a hammer gimmick, which is really cool. So, what you do is, we're gonna close this up for now. You're gonna rotate the ring here, and that will release this thing here, as well as, let's go ahead and close that. There we go. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna combine these two, and make sure you reset the ring, and you can actually just kind of have it like this. It's like a little reactor there. And gonna close the hands here. And push this down. Yep, I like that gimmick. There we go. And now we can take this out. Just back then. Yeah, really cool. And now for the handle, it's actually hiding underneath his back here. We're just gonna pop that out. There we go. And now we're gonna attach this together. And I got a phone call. Alright, so getting back to this, gotta answer your phone calls. Alright, so we have the handle here. There we go. Now what we're gonna do is attach this to the hammer. Alright, so you gotta find right here. And we're just gonna mount it here. But before you put it there, you make sure you're putting on the right side, because the peg connection is right there inside the palm. And this is where you want it connected. And at this top part you can always rotate. So this is the peg, or this is the peg we're gonna be using, not this one. Although you can do it this way, but what I'm trying to say is if you do it this way, it's not gonna work. This is for the left side if you have it in this orientation. Alright, so getting back to this, let's see here. I'm just gonna attach it through here. The problem with this one, as I push this, there's a lot of stuff in there, like layers. There's a lot of hollow parts, so the edge here keeps hitting something in there. I wish it was tapered off, kind of like a cone shape. That way it will just slide in easily. But it's one of those that you're gonna have to force your way in there. And hopefully none of the plastic breaks or cracks, which might happen. Alright, so I would say that's good enough for now. Alright, so we can rotate this. I think it goes this way. This is where you wanna hit something with, and connects it quite nicely. You got the hammer. I would say put this there as well. That way there's no other things that you have to worry about. I prefer everything that stays on the figure when I display it. Yeah, so I have a Optimus Prime somewhere in there. There we go. Alright, so that's that part, and now we're gonna go through the transformation, which is kind of cool. Now there's a lot to it, and let's do it. Alright, so we have the Optimus Prime here. It's a little add-on that they have, which is great. I've been really fond of this little guys. It's great that MasterMade is adding this to each of their figure sets. So for Optimus Prime here, they don't transform. They do have the same chibiness, the SD characteristic, but they still are articulated. So for that, we have the neck here. It's in a ball joint. You can move side to side. Let's just start hitting the shoulder there. For the shoulders, you can rotate this. You have the hinge here that you can slide out. There we go, quite nice. You got your swivel there for the biceps, and you got your elbow bend. Yeah, there's no wrist swivel. It's kind of molded in. Likewise on the other side, it's the same thing. That actually blaster is molded in along with the hand. You got the no waist swivel, but you do have the legs here. You can move this around, and you have an elbow bend, and you have your ankle joint. So for the most part, it's decent for articulation, and actually it's more than enough that we for what we needed to. But you can do awesome poses with this. You just gotta play around with the joint. There we go. Quite nice. Alright, so the first part is the top part here. We're just gonna, like we did before, unhinge it, take out the top part. Also want to point out there is the cables there climbing up and going to the LEDs here. Be careful on that. I wish they covered that up. Not just, yeah. I mean the part of the threads doesn't really hit it, but still it'll be nice if they've hidden that. Right, so we have the top part here. It's kind of like a bust. There's actually wheels here, so I guess you can kind of slide it. Interesting. So for this one, you just kind of open it up, and I think, yeah, that's it. Actually, let's see here. Yeah, you just kind of open it up, and that's... Oh, actually, hold on. Got the bowl joint there. I'm wondering if there's more to it. Unfortunately, the instruction doesn't say, or I actually have two of the same instructions. Yeah, it's very identical. Yeah, I don't know if I'm missing. Then and after that, someone screwed up on my box, or the way they packaged mine. Yeah. So I have to basically look at the online images, but I think that's it. I mean, you're just gonna spread it out like this, and maybe rotate this around, so you have the kind of part here, and you're just gonna extend this part here, and I think that's it. That's pretty much it for the tank mode. It's cool. It's kind of weird though. That's not hidden, but yeah, I'm not complaining. All right, so we get that little guy there. Now for the torso here, we're gonna disattach this again, because that thing turns into something else also. And let's focus on this one. Alright, so for transformation, we're gonna dismantle dismantle him, and there's gonna be 3 parts. So we'll start with the head first. So first thing we're gonna do is, like what I did before, we're just gonna unhinge this, take this out. There we go. I just want to point out there are cables inside for the LED on the side here, so just be careful. Yeah. So I'll put this aside here. Well, actually, we can dismantle the bottom half here. So take out from the waist. There we go. And now we have all 3 parts. Now let's take a look at the head. For the head, it's actually fairly straightforward. We're just gonna open up this, kind of like the treads here. You do have the wheels here, kind of interesting. And we'll just open it up word. There we go. And we're gonna just rotate the head around. And extend the turret, and there we go. We have the tank. Fairly straightforward. I mean, you can still see the head here, but it's all good. You can rotate the, well, basically that's the neck. You can even tilt the treads. This is actually quite nice. And there you go. That's pretty much it for the head. Fairly simple. Now let's work on the legs first. Alright, so for this one, I believe we're gonna move this forward here. Then we're gonna tilt it to the side. We're gonna extend this down. Same thing on the other side. Yeah, something to this extent. So it basically becomes the platform. Open this out. I believe this will open up like that for the bottom part. This or the knee part here, just, let's see, this one goes like this. There we go. And the cool part on this one, if you press on this, it's spring loaded and it does stick out. There we go. Same thing, actually, I think this goes to like this. Yep. Same thing on the other side. You just press it down, spring loaded, which is really cool. And just rotate this, flip it up, and you got the platform there. Fairly straightforward. Alright, so let's just set this here. Now let's work on with the arms and torso. Alright, so moving on to this section here, we're gonna detach this. So it was attached here first, and remember you have to move that ring to take that out like this. But for this one, we're gonna remove it from here, the mid forearm area, and it's connected with the 4 pegs. Take that out. Same on to the other side here. There we go. And whatever's left, we're just gonna press forward. And I think that's a really cool feature right there. All right. Next part, we're gonna detach this back side here. It's a straight peg, and just keep in mind the orientation later on as we're gonna move this around. But the moment the smaller squares or rectangles are in the bottom, and the peg connection on this one is on top. Yeah, we're gonna be manipulating this in a bit. All right, so that's that. For this one, I think we're gonna go like this. Oddly, we have to rotate the... Hold on here. Oh, I see. Okay. We're gonna rotate this around. There we go. And I don't know why we have to do it this way, but that's how it is. So it's gonna be like this, which we'll be attaching onto the platform in a bit. But we'll set this aside here. Actually, no, I think that's what we're gonna do next. Sorry about that. This is my second attempt at transforming it. We're gonna attach it here. See that peg connection there. There we go. And basically, we're creating a space, like a launching pad for this rocket. All right. Next part will be the back wings here. So for this one, we're gonna flip it over like this. Move this around. And there we go. So something like this, more or less. And now we're gonna be attaching this peg connection to that. Like this in a bit. I think it's probably best to put the rocket first. So for the rocket, you have these 2 halves. You connect them like so. There we go. Yeah, it could pass as a rocket, sure. It's not close enough to be a rocket. It's kind of interesting how things just connect together and it kind of works out. Alright, so we got a peg there on the waist. We're going to attach this. Gonna just have to wiggle it. There we go. Kind of clamp onto that, you know, the red hand or fingers there, kind of like fingers or appendages, I guess. Kind of wrap it around that base. And lastly, we're just gonna attach this here. We're just gonna push it in. There we go. It's kind of like a support, kind of like how we see it on the TV or movies when they have a rocket. And before it launches, obviously, this is gonna move to the side and, you know, blast off there. So it's really cool. It's a really nice space station. Then you got your rock or tank here. Something to protect the area. Make sure that rocket launches in the air. Alright, and that wraps up the review for Apollo, or the Omega Supreme. This is a really amazing figure. And there's a lot of things you can do with this guy. It's a fully articulated figure in the robot mode. Then you can turn it into this space station with rockets. And there's just a lot of cool gimmicks. You can move the sections here. Yeah, and there's a lot of peg connections that you can even mix and match with the other MasterMade figures. Yeah, definitely there's a lot of play value on this, and I highly recommend getting this figure. Anyways, that's about it for this review. Hope you guys like it. If you got questions, let me know. I'll try my best to answer those for you. Again, I got this from Supreme Collectors. I'll provide the link down below if you're looking into getting one. Again, the web store it's getting there. But otherwise, you can send a message through their Facebook page. And that's about it. So until then, this is Meads. Thanks for watching.